Hello, everybody. Josh here, and welcome back to another episode of the post-show review, the pay-per-view post-show review, where we go over the any pay-per-views that went down. In this instance, we will be going over AEW All Out and WWE WrestlePalooza. This is a combo edition of the post-show review. If you don't know who we are, I'm your host, Josh, as always. Joining me is Ruan Wrestling
Hey guys.
and Stu World Order.
Hello.
So we're gonna get into All Out first. Uh, I'm probably going to have a little bit of a different opinion on some of the things that went down on All Out since I was there in person and the vibe was a little bit different than if I were to watch it on TV. Um, so Rue might be like the more neutral one in this instance when we talk about All Out. Just because I was there to have fun. I wasn't really in analyst mode when I went there. I was with my uncle and we were just having fun watching All Out. And honestly, even though I was having fun, it still was a fun card, and there was a lot of good matches on there. And then obviously we'll be talking about WrestlePalooza, which was, you know, not All Out, but um, yeah. Before we get into that, obviously I love hearing what you guys have to say. So let us know in the comment section below wherever you're listening to this, whether it be YouTube or Spotify. You can also check out the Kayfabe Central Discord server if you want a place to chat it up about wrestling or anything non-wrestling related, because we have a channel for that also. You can check out the Kayfabe Central website. You won't find any of the results and review on the website for these two pay-per-views, because I was just too tired to do that post. So that won't be on there, but everything else is there. Like the weekly coverage show posts, articles, all that good stuff. So make sure you guys go check that out as well. Yeah, we're gonna get straight into this because we have a lot to dive into. Um, so yeah, we're gonna start with AEW All Out. Of course, someone decides to rev their engine right by my house. Um, so Ru, I don't know because Stu, I know you didn't check out All Out. Um,
All
Ru,
right.
I don't know if you checked out the pre-show thing that they did.
Okay,
Um,
so
because I completely missed it.
yeah, so I didn't simply because I don't know if I just completely, as you said, for two reasons actually. The first one, and probably the more accurate one, was I completely forgot it was a thing. But not so much the pre-show, but the actual matches themselves. Because I watched the pre-show, but I watched the one that was just basically the analysis with Daniel, not Daniel Brown, Brian Danielson, Renee Paquette, and RJ. I watched that, and it wasn't until after that had finished, I went, wait, was there not meant to be matches? And then I remembered you had mentioned something that it was a special one, what HBO Max or something.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, so I've seen the results, but I've not actually seen any of the matches. Apparently the tailgate one was very fun. I've heard that.
Yeah, so I walked into the arena because I was just roaming around Toronto because why the hell not? And walked in right when the tailgate brawl ended, and I just walked into like Harley Cameron, Mina Shirakawa, Queen Aminata, and Willow just dancing and having fun. Um, so the we had four matches on this, pre-show thing. The first one was a tag team match. The Opps, Samoa Joe, and Powerhouse Hobbs defeated the Workhorsemen, Anthony Henry and JD Drake. I don't know much about Anthony Henry and JD Drake, nor did I see this match, but that was a result. Daniel Garcia defeated Katsuyori Shibata. Trios match, hologram Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong defeated the Frat House, Cole Carter, Griff Garrison, and Jack Jameson. I'm assuming these are Ring of Honor guys.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're new to this podcast, I don't watch Ring of Honor. Um, and then there was the eight-woman tornado tailgate brawl. Harley Cameron, Mina Shirakawa, Queen Aminata, and Willow Nightingale defeated Megan Bayne, Penelope Ford, and the Triangle of Madness, Julia Hart and Skye Blue. Obviously was a little bit sad. I didn't get to see Skye Blue wrestle, but that's perfectly fine. That's okay.
If you have an interview for whatever in the future, by the way.
Um, let's move on to the main card. Uh, we have kicking off the kick the kick what kicked off the show was Adam Copeland and Christian Cage defeating FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood by pinfall. During the match, Beth Phoenix, or I think she's going as Beth Copeland in AEW, came out to make the save and speared the living daylights out of Stokely Hathaway. Um, so that was pretty cool. I didn't expect that, but I also knew it was sooner rather than later this was going to happen with Beth Phoenix showing up in AEW. We had a pretty cool thing here in this match where I almost called him Edge because that's his name, but Adam Copeland um, paid homage to John Cena by doing the five knuckle shuffle, so that was pretty cool. Um, I was really confused as to what he was about to do because I was just so invested in like everything that was going on until I saw he did the "You Can't See Me." I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then he hit the AA. So yeah, this was a fun match, a fun way to kick off the show. And I gotta say, like watching Adam Copeland's entrance on TV is one thing, but being there in person for the entire crowd singing that song when the music stopped playing just gave me goosebumps all through. Um, it was an amazing atmosphere, especially it being in Toronto. It was so fun and it was an amazing atmosphere. But yeah, the match was fun. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage won. Curious to see where they go from here.
Yeah, I think what you're saying as well, what was kind of collided into such a great, just an all round atmosphere was AEW crowds normally are really fantastic. Toronto crowds are always fantastic. Put the two together, it was a fantastic crowd. Like sometimes you hear a lot of like people like will say sat at home like, oh, like the crowd was a bit dead, they weren't great, but then you hear people from in there, being like, oh no, it was actually really loud. This was on TV watching this, it was loud. It was very loud. The crowd was amazing. But yeah, I just said really fun match. I think it's probably what we expected. I think we were all kind of in agreement that we all. I know Stu actually picked them, but we all kind of wanted FTR to win. But I just was like, I can't put it past Tony Khan being like, oh, it's gotta be Edge and Christian, or Cope and Christian, got to do it. Which they did, but I am glad at the end that FTR managed to get their heat back. Attacking Beth, tying up Adam. Um, that was good. At least they managed to get their heat back and continue on. But yeah, fun match. I had to message you, Josh, because I had no idea who any of the people were that they were meeting at the beginning.
Yeah,
Oh
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go on.
no, no, no! I was just laughing.
But yeah, before I let you go, Stu, I didn't know who some of them were either. I just knew that they were like Canadian legends and I've like seen their faces before, but I didn't know the names. I was like, okay, I've seen this guy before. I've seen that guy before. I don't know any of their names though.
Okay, well, they're not Canadian legends. Even the Canadian doesn't know their names. That's all I'm saying. So for listeners, I have actually not seen the results of this because I wanted Rue and Just to surprise me. This is not a surprise. I'm a bit gutted because I wanted FTR to win. I did, however, see Edge do the "You Can't See Me" five knuckle shuffle thing, which I actually thought was really, really cool. I'm glad you said FTR managed to get their heat back at the end of it, though, because for both of them now, though, whether they go from here, that's the slightly concerning thing. Are we going to carry this on, or are we going to go our separate ways? And FTR are going to go back after the tag titles, or are Edge and Christian going to go after the tag titles now? But yeah, not surprised with the result at all. Bit sad at the result, but I understand it.
Yeah, I completely expected Cope and Christian to win this match. Um, just because the reasons we brought up. Tony Khan loves that nostalgia. And it wasn't for the tag titles. Had this been for the tag titles, I think FTR would have won. Um, but obviously this feud is not over with yet after what happened after the match because um Adam Copeland's just not gonna let that go. They delivered a pile driver to his wife.
Oh, god
Um,
damn.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
whilst he was tied up, well, handcuffed up anyway.
yeah.
Sexy.
Yeah,
Um, so that's gonna continue. I'm curious to see how far they're gonna take that. I don't know how. interesting they're gonna be able to keep this without it being for anything other than just pure hatred. Um, I don't know. I'm someone who feels like a rivalry at this magnitude should be for something.
Agreed.
Um, and I think it would just add more stakes to it and it would give more prestige to whatever they're fighting for, like the tag titles, for instance.
Yeah, sorry, I
Um,
was,
yeah.
sorry, I was just sorry to interrupt. But yeah, no, I agree. I think the only logical step now, I mean, the guy's just pile drive the guy's wife, which sounds very dodgy to listeners.
While he was handcuffed.
Whilst he was handcuffed, oh god. This needs, and I think it will go. So if it, as you said, I agree, it needs to be for something. If it's not, their next match has to be some sort of hardcore stipulation. Like you can't just have a normal match after this. So as you said, like going
Definitely.
forward, if they are going forward, they need to have like a TLC or an Extreme Rules match, something. Well, we know AEW likes coming up with crazy ideas, something like that. To because if you demands it and it deserves it.
Yeah. Also shout out to me and the my section that I was sitting in and the section next to us for starting the fuck the revival chants.
So, yeah,
Um
well, I heard everyone say that one of the years
Bravo.
that started it.
That was fun because I'm like, we need to chant this. It has to happen. And there it was. Um, but yeah, fun match to kick off All Out. We then went to Eddie Kingston and Big Bill. Now I went for a vape break after the first match. So I completely missed the entirety of this match. And by the time I came back, Eddie Kingston had hit Big Bill with something and then won the match. So Rue, you could probably break down the match better. Um, but after the match, Big Bill and Brian Keith attacked Eddie Kingston. And then Hook came out to fight him. Now, I have a funny story about this because the lights went out. I pulled out my phone. I'm like, oh, are we gonna get something? And this is no shade to Hook whatsoever. I pull my phone out, and then the H logo comes out. I'm like, oh, it's Hook. I was like, I was expecting something bigger. I was like, okay, maybe I got my hopes up a little too much. Um, but yeah, Hook came out for the save. Yeah, Ru, what did you think of this match?
Yeah, it's probably this or one of the other ones we can get onto. It's probably the weakest match on the card, and by that is no like that's not me having a dig at it because it was still an absolute fine match compared to some other companies. Um, it was fine. It was fine. It's what you expected between a Big Bill and Eddie Kingston. Basically, Bill spent the entire time just beating down Eddie and using big moves. Eddie eventually got the comeback, pulled up, chip crowd behind him, gets the win. Not like it's very formulaic. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just very by the books. And I think it's kind of what we expected for Eddie's first big match back. But yeah, as you said, quite interesting seeing Hook come out at the end. I was sat there being like, is Hook gonna turn? Maybe is something gonna happen? But no, they just had Hook come out and just celebrated with Eddie, and they went off together into the sunset like some very weird age gap lovers. So no, it was fine. It was fine. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like it probably was up there with one of the weaker matches on the show.
First of all, how long is your vape break, dude? How big is your vape? This is an entire
So
match to be a vape
I went
break?
to the washroom and then took the vape break, and then also got a drink.
Ah, now it becomes clear.
Yeah.
You're never going to have anything other than a formulaic match with Big Bill. I'm sorry. It's just never going to be anything other than that. Hook coming out to save Eddie Kingston is a weird one. I thought we had more interesting things for Hook coming up, unless the turn's coming at some point. But yeah, that seems like a weird one to me. No surprise again at the result. I think Big Bill probably needs it though. He needs to monster up a little bit. Can't have Big Bill being 9'2" and losing a lot of matches. But yeah, it's Big Bill.
Yeah, it's kind of it's followed by the book. Actually, as well, one thing that was quite good, and actually, Josh, you wouldn't have got to experience this was Brian Danielson was amazing in commentary. He was really, really good last night.
Yeah, I was thinking about checking out the like the show, like just watching it back to hear the commentary on it. But yeah, I have no doubt
Yeah,
that Bryan Danielson was good because he's been amazing on like Dynamite,
yeah, yeah.
commentating.
He was great last night, especially during the Derby match. At one point, he's literally screaming, "What was it? Fuck it, kill him," or something like that. Didn't make at one point to Derby and Mox. We can get onto that, but yeah, but he was good during this match, as well. He was good for the entire show.
Yeah. Also, first time I got to experience somewhat of the Yes movement in person, so that was
Yeah, you
fun.
would have, yeah. Oh, that would be
Oh,
cool.
awesome.
But yeah, Eddie Kingston and Big Bill. I figured I didn't miss much with that match. But then we went on to the tables and thumbtacks match. Mark Briscoe defeated MJF by pinfall. This was a
Whoa.
Yeah.
brutal match. Oh my God. And like I had to turn away at some point to this match because I was like, oh Lord. Like we still have a coffin match to come later tonight, and we still have a ladder match. And yeah, there was a lot of spots. I saw kids being shocked. I saw older people being like, "Oh my goodness, what did my child take me to?" Um, but yeah, this was a fun match, and I think Mark Briscoe winning was a good decision. Now he can challenge either Kyle Fletcher for the TNT title, or he can challenge Kazuchika Okada for the Unified Championship. Um, Spoiler alert, by the way, for later on. Um, so
Damn it.
yeah, this was a fun match.
Yeah, this is and I think in AEW always does this really well. What was I think so good about this one in particular was it was very different in what made you go holy shit in the shock factor compared to the coffin match. Both were so brutal in their own right, but each I just felt like had the it wasn't like too much. Each one had its own separate like ideas that happened and made it stand out. This was ridiculous. The bit where MJF was oh wait, who was I think it was MJF dragging Mark on the back on his back through the thumbtacks.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was horrible to watch, but in a great way. Um, oh, just some of the moves they were taken onto those thumbtacks was absolutely ridiculous. I wouldn't want to do it again. I'm just going to call him Daniel Bryan. Just going to call him Bryan Dennison. On go, he was great in this match because he was just overselling everything in such a good way. Yeah, this was bloody. It was brutal. And yeah, I'm a big fan of Mark Briscoe. Pick up the one heels and go on and do more and more things. But a shout out to MJF, by the way. 'Cause I don't know if either of you have managed to catch up in that match he had with Mystico for the CMLL title. It was ridiculously violent as well. And then in less than 24 hours later, he was doing this with Mark Briscoe.
MJF is an amazingly talented worker, and he's got some cardio on him as well, and he's brutal. He's just the perfect wrestler, I think, personally. I'm well happy Mark Briscoe got the win here. He deserves a big win, a big marquee win. I knew it was a good match because I was trying to avoid all texts, but I got one popped up on my screen, which was Rue saying Mark Briscoe is not a sane man. I thought, that match is good then. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm upset. I didn't see that one. I will obviously at some point see it when it's for free
Yeah,
on
that's one to
ITV.
recommend.
Yeah, so I'll be watching that when it comes on. But yeah, I'm well happy Mark Briscoe got the thing. MJF didn't need the win. He's
Yeah.
still got his contract. So yeah, I like Daniel Bryan on commentary.
Yeah.
I like Daniel Bryan as an analyst as well. I mean, remember the old SmackDown thing they used to do?
Yep.
He was decent on that as well. So he's got
He just
chops. He's
doesn't
got a
care,
lot to say.
which is funny.
He talks really well as well. So yeah, I think that's a good use of Daniel Bryan at the moment. Sorry, Bryan Danielson, Bryan Daniel Bryan. So yeah, good for Mark Briscoe.
So yeah, that was the tables and tax match. We then had a segment. The Acclaimed were told by Jerry Lynn that he's booked them in a tag team match for next week, which causes them to argue even more. This is obviously just going to lead into the reunion of the Acclaimed. Because obviously Max Caster can't just keep jobbing out to people, and they seem like they have nothing for Anthony Bowens to do. I think this is a fine idea to reunite them. I think they're better together anyway. I didn't understand splitting them up in the first place. Um, but yeah, so that should be fun. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I was really excited. I mean, I feel really bad if you're saying this. I'm not that bored by Max Caster to be honest. But when they first split, I was quite excited for Anthony Bowens. Like I thought he could go on to do some big things, but they've just not found a use for him. And yeah, if they, I'd rather they did something and had a use for him than nothing at all. Because I think he's tremendously talented. But and I was excited when they first split. But if they're not doing anything, then at least give him something.
Can I be really, really honest with you? Max Caster's open challenges are one of literally my favorite bits on every show. I love him. I think he's amazing. I think what he was doing, which is literally jobbing out to everyone, I think he was so good at it though. He, I remember when he started the "Go Max Go, you're the great best wrestler alive" chants. There'd be like two people trying to go along with him, but now pretty much everybody's in. And I think the fact that he's taken that shitty gimmick and actually done something with it speaks volumes for him. And he's just really embraced it. But yeah, I think it'll be great to see him do some actual wrestling for a while. That'll be nice.
Yeah. Um, we then had the trios match, Ricochet and the GOA. Bishop Kaun and Toa Liona defeated the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP. Now, this is a prediction I actually got wrong, but on the predictions podcast, we talked about the possibility of this being the case and MVP taking the pin, in which he did. I was still confident that they were going to give the win to the Hurt Syndicate because they just lost the tag titles. But I think this is good for Ricochet and the JOA. They needed this win, and yeah, the match itself was fine. It was a fun match. Um, the crowd was into it for the most part, and yeah, there's nothing else really for me to say about that match. It was fun.
Yeah, I find the issue, as you said, I kind of wanted all guys in this match to come out winning, but obviously you can't have that. So that was the main reason I thought that the Hot Syndicate were going to lose was because they had MVP in the match to take the pin, which he did, which he very much did. Yeah, it was a fun match. Certainly nothing spectacular, but it was good, a good watch.
At WWE, I think Ricochet is another one they must look at and think, how did we miss this?
Oh, God.
How did we miss his ability to play this character? How did we not think about anything like this? Because I can't stand him, which means he's doing his job really, really well. I want to, every time he does, I want to slap him so hard. Right, I have to stop myself from kicking a cat.
Yeah, I absolutely love when he does that. It's like he does it out of nowhere sometimes too, and it's like, oh, it's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, Ricochet is somebody like when he was in WWE, I'm like, man, they can do so much with this guy. Especially as a heel. Like when I play my universe mode, I have Ricochet as a heel for the longest time, and he's showing it here in AEW that he can work very well with a character and not just a guy who can fly. Um, so yeah, this was a fun match. Before we get into the others, I just got the timer for this meeting. Despite it being 9 minutes, I just going to create another meeting anyway. So I will be right back. All right, we are back. So yeah, that was the trios match. We then moved on to the AEW TBS Championship match, Mercedes Moné and Riho. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is when I took my other vape break. Because I knew exactly what was gonna happen in this match. I knew exactly how it was gonna go, and I was correct. Mercedes Moné retained over Riho. Um, I don't like I came towards the tail end of the match, like it was still going on. Um I don't know if I missed anything. Rue will let me know, but I don't think that I did. I assume they just put on a pretty decent match. And Mercedes Moné retained.
Yeah. No, it's it, it was probably that's what I said earlier when we were talking about the Eddie Kingston match. This for me was probably probably the weakest match on the card. Just outbeats the Eddie Kingston Big Bill one for me. Um, Again, I know obviously you went away anyway, so maybe you don't know, but on TV compared to maybe being in the arena, it just didn't translate that well. I don't think it was fine. And again, like we can get into some of the WWE ones. Like, it wasn't a bad match, but at all, it was totally acceptable. I just think the standard of AEW is so ridiculously high that even like an average match, you go, it's probably the worst one on the card. And this is what this was as well. Again, not a surprising outcome. I think we all thought that Mercedes was going to win, and she did. But yeah, it was a fine match.
Is she resonating with the crowd, Mercedes Moné, in her current iteration?
See,
Eh.
the thing with Mercedes, which is weird, is it seems like it, but I've just never been that big of a fan. I don't dislike her, and and sometimes she goes out and puts on the match of the night, like quite a lot of the time. But Josh has heard it before, particularly when we do like the predictions. Like, I'm just not that big a fan of the Mercedes Moné character. Um, so yeah, for me, she just doesn't do it. Fantastic wrestler. I'm not going to deny that. But yeah, just the whole gimmick doesn't do it for me. And I
This
said
is the thing.
it's getting stale. They definitely want her to beat Jade's record. That's the reason why she still got it. That's literally it. But yeah, it's just getting stale for me.
This is the thing. Mercedes Moné's gimmick isn't really a gimmick.
Yeah,
It's not really a character. There's nothing. I've always been told or heard in wrestling, be yourself, but bigger.
yeah,
She's not bigger. She's just kind of a very standard character who has a lot of belts. Now, obviously, that has a merit in itself, but it seems to me, I like her entrance.
yeah.
After that, it's kind of, eh, she's a good wrestler. She's a really
No,
good
this
wrestler, but
entrance
there's
was weird.
nothing. Oh, is it weird?
No,
Oh,
it was good, but it was great. She came out with like a bunch of models all wearing like topless male models all wearing her belts.
of course. Why? Why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't that be a normal thing to do? But this is the thing. But then bell to bell, she's very, very good.
Yeah,
But there's nothing else, nothing
yeah.
big about her at all. And I think that might be half the problem. But yeah, no surprise she won.
Yeah, Rue, you brought up the crowd, and like obviously I wasn't in my seat, but I was walking throughout the hallway. I was in the stairwell at one point. And like obviously I can still hear everything going on. When she made her entrance, I heard her song more than I heard the crowd. And when I
Oh,
was walking through the hallway and I'm hearing them wrestle, I'm hearing the bumps getting taken, and I'm hearing barely any reactions from the crowd. So you're absolutely right. It did not translate well. Like a lot of this, and like even when I towards the tail end of the match, there were some cool spots. There were a couple oohs and ahs from the crowd,
Yeah,
but that was it. Like Mercedes won, and they're like, okay, what's next?
yeah. That's
Um,
how it seemed on TV.
yeah, that's literally what it was. Um, so yeah, Mercedes Moné retains the TBS Championship. We then went to a three-way match for the AEW Unified Championship. Kazuchika Okada
Oh,
defeated Konosuke Takeshita and Mascara Dorada. Now, if we didn't have other top tier names on this card, this match arguably could have been match of the night. Because what a fantastic put together three-way match this was. Absolutely fantastic. And like they slowed it down a couple times, but for the most part, it was just action packed between the three of these guys. Takeshita looked great, Okada looked great, Dorada looked great. It was a fantastic match, and I absolutely loved it. Okada retains. I expected that to happen. There was obviously some friction between Okada and Takeshita. I think Takeshita is ultimately going to be the one to take that title off of Okada in a one-on-one match. But yeah, fun match, really fun match.
yeah, Stu. Does it surprise you at all to say that this match was really freaking good?
no, it surprises me in no way, shape, or form. when it finally comes on ITV, this is one of the matches I'm most looking forward to seeing because I
Yeah,
know, even though there's three of them, there's going to be no sort of one of us is going to take a break for a long time while the other two have a little fight. I just know this is going to be hell for leather, stiff shots. Everybody's going to be working proper snug as well. It's just going to be an all out, brilliantly technical brawl.
you just said the word there, and that's what I would say. Like this stiff, like that's what this match was. Some of the knee strikes that Takeshi again. I don't know what it was like in the arena, but on TV, oh my god! I think this, and it is very close as Josh said, and we'll get on some of them. It is quite close, but just out of sheer non-gimmick. Also, I know it's a triple threat, not 1-on-1, but non-gimmick matches. This is my match of the night. I absolutely love this so goddamn much, and I totally agree, Josh. I think the route going forward is eventually going to be the 1-on-1 Takeshi or Okada, and I think Takeshi will take it off him, and that could easily be match of the year. I'm very excited. This was an amazing match.
Takeshita and Okada 1-on-1, I will pay for that pay per view. Obviously, we have to start the GoFundMe page, so I can, but
Exactly.
I will pay for it.
When I was in wrestling training and I was being taught how to throw forearms, and it was mainly Santino Marella who was like, you gotta throw it. Konosuke Takeshita, oh my God, his forearms are perfect. The one that he gave Mascara Dorada, and I'm pretty sure Rue knows which one I'm
Yeah.
talking about exactly, that just dropped him. Oh my goodness. I heard that all the way from where I was sitting. And oh my goodness, what a shot. Stiff is the perfect word for this match because there were so many hard hits. Yeah, these two just beat the hell out of each other, and I loved it.
This is where Dorado was probably like, okay, you're going to take on Takeshita and Okada. It's like, really? This is going to really hurt.
He's like, he knows he comes back and he's like, they've like, oh, Okada's retained, and he's like, oh man, I'm just gonna go out there and just get beat the living shit out of.
I'm going to fly around and eventually somebody's going to catch me with something really painful.
Oh, this was so. Again, this was another match as well. We'll get to make it even better. Instead, you'll see it still when it comes on TV. Was Bryan Danielson added so much to the this match? Because again, the whole point of him, but he's on his mission. He's not just a wrestler. He is a massive fanboy of wrestling. So he knew
Which is great.
which makes it even better exactly. And so he knew every little detail, every backstory, every match, every tournament win about Okada and Takeshi, and was able to talk about the history between them, and obviously his reaction because he knows more than anyone on that commentary about what it's like to be hit by these guys. So he added to it. So this was my match of the night. Out of the, if you take the hardcore and stipulation matches of it, this was my personal match of the night.
Well, this is another thing with an advantage AEW have that they can talk about other promotions. So
Yeah.
they can sell a history properly rather than say, yeah, these two fought on the indies. You can actually say they had this rivalry here and they went over here and they fought for this championship. It's a big advantage AEW have that they have no issues talking about other promotions to really sell a fight.
Yeah, you seen the video that I sent you as a joke. That was on the pre-show where
Yes.
Bryan Danielson was comparing Kyle Fletcher to Randy Orton. He just name dropped Randy Orton and the WWE, and I was like, can he do that? But he said that he can, because
Did
it
he
makes
actually?
sense. Because the whole point that they were talking about is
Yeah, he did. It's on the
Kyle
video.
Fletcher exactly I did, and it's like the whole point was they were talking about is Kyle Fletcher ready to become the top champion, and Daniel Bryan quite rightfully was pointing out Randy Orton when he won his first World Heavyweight Championship. So it's like it makes sense.
Yeah. Drop them. Nobody is ever going to be like, oh, I'm going to go watch AEW because WWE mentioned them. No, they're not. They're already going to watch them. And it's the
Yep.
same the other way around. I don't see why WWE have this whole thing with ignoring history and other wrestling.
Yeah.
I love how the businesses like Tony Khan, Triple H are going at each other, but the talent is just feeding off of each other, and they're paying
Really?
homage to one another, and like they're mentioning each other on these shows. I find that so freaking cool because like this whole like WWE going against AEW thing is so stupid, but I love that the talent acknowledges other people because there was a point in time where they weren't allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But now,
That's great.
2025, nobody cares.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
mean, let's be honest. The one talent who did for WWE was the one who's on his way out the door, anyways. Who's like, I don't give a shit.
'Cause I was actually talking on that topic. I was talking to my girlfriend about this because I was bringing up that Daniel Bryan moment, Bryan Danielson moment. I think the only time I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they've name dropped AEW was when Sami Zayn did it. Because even with Cody, they're just referenced the other company. But I think the
Yeah.
only time they've actually name dropped was when Sami Zayn did it in that really random segment where he was like, "You can ask me about AEW."
yeah,
Yes.
I believe
Yes.
that's the only time they've actually said the name AEW.
Yeah,
Like obviously it's been referred to before
yeah.
after that, but like yeah, they after that they never said AEW. Um,
What a forbidden door that would be.
oh man,
Just saying.
if only TKO weren't money hungry and selfish.
The
So that's a
ironic thing is
topic for another day.
that would make them the most money ever. That's the
It
ironic thing.
really
That's what
would.
I'm saying. I feel like these companies could benefit so much more if they just worked together.
Oh,
Uh,
Yeah,
so much.
absolutely.
like, oh my goodness.
I tell you what, I'd pay $5 million or pounds to be in the meeting room when they discuss who's going over who.
Yeah, we want our truth to win the TNT championship.
No, we want our truth to go over Okada for the unified belt. Yeah, how about
Oh my gosh. Um, anyway, following that match was the coffin match between Jon Moxley and Darby Allin. Jon Moxley defeated Darby Allin with some help from a returning Pac, aka Adrian Neville, if nobody knows.
Oh,
Um, who returned after like I don't know how long he's been gone. He's been
that?
gone
In a
for
while.
a long time. Um, like to the point I completely forgot he was in the Death Riders to begin with. And I was like, "Oh right, it's Pac." And it took me a split second. I was much later than the rest of the crowd because I'm just like in my own world right now like and then all of a sudden I see someone enter the ring. I'm like, who is that? And the crowd goes nuts and it takes me 2 seconds after I'm like, "Oh my goodness." I was like, "What?" Um so yeah, Pac showed up and helped Jon Moxley defeat Darby Allin. Now, Stu was the one who said Jon Moxley was gonna win. However, not the three of us did not predict that Pac was gonna return.
Yeah.
Completely unexpected. Um, yeah, I don't know if you picked Moxley as well.
I didn't know I had Derby. As
Okay.
I said Derby, but in the back of my mind, I was really concerned because of Daniel Garcia, who they made an appearance into the Death Riders, but Moxley told them to go back, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like they were there, but they were just like kicked away. I just said no, don't worry, because like, you're saying like, oh, I was the only person to not realize what was going on. I was the same on the actual TV because Pat came out looking like a homeless Wade Barrett. Like, as I was trying to explain it to Stu, you said you've not seen anything. He's cut his hair and it's weird.
oh no!
Like his hair looks like Wade Barrett, but he's been like homeless the last 5 years.
To be fair, you remember when Gollum was turning from Smeagol into Gollum? That's what he always looked like anyway.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
now he's going to look even weirder. Oh God!
Yeah, so I had no clue when he got in the ring. It took me like it took a good while into the beatdown before I went, oh shit, that's Pac. I had no clue um what it was. But yeah, I think for just as a match, the match was as it's what you expected from a John Moxley and Darby coffin match. It was brutal. People couldn't the AEW like health and safety and management team keep like kitchen utensils away from Moxley, please. I don't want to see the man get stabbed in the head by a fork again. It's been a lot. But yeah, absolutely fantastic match. And I said it was brutal, but in a different way to like the MJF one. Like I think the MJF match, it was just outright like, oh, it made you feel really like kind of squeamish looking at all the thumbtacks. This one was brutal in a really sadistic way. I think, like from both sides, both Darby and Moxley. Darby trying to like bite off Moxley's ear at one point, and then it was gushing blood, and then I said, just putting the fork, driving that into Mox's skull multiple times, and then the whole like Brian Danielson saying that he wasn't going to get involved, but then he handed Darby the bag, which inside the bag was another bag, but the bag that obviously Moxley used to choke out Brian Danielson, which they did, and it looked like Darby was going to win, and also that's when Pat came back. Yeah, this was great. I think this was probably the only way they could have had Moxley win because otherwise it didn't make a lot of sense. But it made sense. Cough, cough. Other company, take note. I made take note here. But yeah, this was great. This was sadistic. This was brutal. And I'm very very happy to see Pac back. Please Pac, like just take care of yourself and try not to get injured.
So Pac actually got injured. Literally, I think the first or second show I watched of AEW. That's how long he's been out for. I've just seen a picture of Pac with his haircut. I swear to God, he was standing on the corner in Scunthorpe a couple of weeks ago asking me if I could lend him a fiver.
Hey, so would you tell me if you seen that come onto screen? You like my first instinct wasn't Pac.
I'd be like, is he okay? Has he wandered in from somewhere? Is this a confused fan?
That's exactly what I thought at the time.
Wow.
I was trying to work out. I was like, who could this be? And I was trying to who's a free agent? Who could come over? I'm like, there's no one.
That is some fringe. This is another match I'm looking forward to. You've got mental Darby Allin and mental John Moxley, who seem to not be worried about having longevity in their careers at all. So I'm quite glad Moxley won. To be fair, I think the Death Riders to be and again take note other company, for the Death Riders to be a strong threat, they need to look strong, and this was a very good way of having them look strong against a maniac.
So there was a moment on AEW All Out that I don't have written down, and I can't remember which spot it happened at. So Rue, you could probably fill me in if you remember, but Jack Perry showed up.
Okay, this was after the tag match.
Oh, was it with
Yep.
the ladder match?
Yeah, after the ladder match. Yeah, we can. Well, I mean, is that next? I can't remember.
No, that's not. The next
Oh,
is
okay.
the Women's World Championship match. Okay, so we'll get to that. I just wasn't sure when it happened. Um, but following the coffin match, was the four-way match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Chris Statlander, Timeless Tony Storm, Jamie Hayter, and Tekla. Chris Statlander won the AEW Women's World Championship.
What?
Yep.
And I did not expect this at all. I haven't posted my reaction yet, but I recorded it live. I was shook.
Yep.
Completely shook that they gave Chris this win because I was so positive that Tony Storm was just going to retain. And I'm happy for Chris Statlander, but wow, what a shock that was. In general, the match was better than I anticipated it to be. And that's like not a knock at any four of these women. I think they're all great in their own right. But yeah, Chris Statlander picks up the win by pinning Tony Storm.
Yep.
And so yeah, complete shocker. And you know what? I'm happy for Chris Statlander, and I'm actually happy that there is now a change in the women's division. Because, as we all know, I've not been a fan of the Timeless Tony Storm gimmick. And I am excited for a fresh start in this division. I think Tony Storm, maybe she takes some time off. I don't know. Because she's been holding that title for a very long time. And even when she wasn't holding it, she was involved in the rivalry for it. So yeah, Chris Statlander is the AEW Women's World Champion.
Yep, I'm so happy for Chris. And what's as you even just mentioned, there was his reaction, which blew my mind. I think we all said it on the pod was the fact that there was the possibility, if there's been a fatal four-way, that they would switch up the belt without Tony having to take the pin. But no, screw that. Tony took the literal freaking pin.
Yeah.
I was shook when I seen this, but I'm so happy. Actually, it was a really fun match. I thought all women here looked amazing, particularly Tekla. I thought she looked really good. Um, this was a really fun match and a shock outcome, but a good one. Was so happy for Chris. You know, the crowd chanting "You deserve it" at the end because she absolutely does. But yeah, I don't know what's next for Tony. Intrigued to see what happens going forward. But yeah, this was a hell of a shocker. I was loving this reaction.
What's gone on? What? Describe the pin to me. Was it a move?
It was, wasn't it? She just
Yeah, it was. I think she hit her with. I can't remember what her finisher was, but she hit her with it and then pinned her.
Yeah.
Why have they done that? This is honestly, I was ready to just go, yeah, Tony Storm won, surprise. That was going to be my only comment to this match. I'm thrown, I'm shook, a little bit gutted. Happy for Chris Statlander. Don't know where Tony Storm goes from here. I'm going to need to process. I don't know what to think.
This was so good actually having like it's good to have these surprise ones again. Other company take note, and it like actually makes people happy because everyone went, "Oh my god, Chris Statlander won!" And
I was going to say, I'm assuming this was Undertaker levels of shock in the crowd.
Everyone was like, "Yeah," a bit like at the same time mixed with like the cheers because everyone was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah. As soon as that 3 count hit, I just saw a whole bunch of hands go up on their heads in shock, including myself.
Where my hands are like, right now.
Yeah, happy for Chris Statlander. Congratulations to her. That also begs the question: does this title change her? She turns heel and joins the Death Riders. Maybe turns her back on Harley Cameron, who came out and congratulated her. Yeah, this match in general was a fun match. And yeah, that was that. Congrats to Chris Statlander. We then had the second last match of the night, which was the four-way ladder match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Brodito, Brody King, and Bandito defeated Hechicero, Josh Alexander, the Young Bucks, and Jet Speed in that ladder match in a fantastic ladder match. Just great stuff from all of these guys. And I was very worried about there already being 2 hardcore matches earlier in the night and this not hitting as hard because of what we already saw. But they proved me wrong. Josh Alexander and Speedball are 2 people that are like here from Canada here, and so there was a lot of people behind them here. And it was just cool seeing those 2 in the ring, especially because the day before All Out, Josh Alexander was running a seminar, and I'm like, oh man, tomorrow this guy's gonna be in so much pain. But and indeed he was. There were some crazy bumps. That moonsault double knees that Speedball does is absolutely brutal. And he did that on top of a ladder. I believe it was onto Hechicero he did it too.
Yep.
And yeah, fantastic match all around. Brodito retains the tag team titles. Yeah, bro, what did you think of this match?
Absolutely amazing, as you said. Again, like it's just a shocker to say with these teams that this was amazing in a ladder match. It was. For me, Speedball / Brody King were like the MVPs of this match. They were so good and ridiculous and terrifying. I hope Speedball is okay after some of the bumps he took. Such a good match, such a good ladder match. And again, really, really happy with the outcome. I'm a big fan of Brodito against such out the blue team, but they're fun to watch. And yeah, this was the same as always with AEW. I think it was a bloody amazing match.
Well, seeing as Tony Storm lost the title, I thought you were going to tell me New Day won the match or something like that. Who knows what's going on anymore in that place? Again, really looking forward to watching this one. I was excited to see Speedball in this kind of match. So I'm very, very happy to hear from you guys that they were the value I thought they were going to be. Brody King, tell me he went off a ladder. Tell me he
Oh,
did something off a ladder.
multiple. And
Yes,
jumped off people onto said ladders through ridiculous angles.
fantastic. Brody King is a legend. Nothing about him says athlete, but I love that man. He gives me hope for the future. Yeah, again, I'm not surprised they retained, but I'm really glad it was the value match I thought it was going to be. I don't have a lot more to say on that one, but yeah, I'm still reeling from Tony Storm.
I also, and this is a really like nerdy wrestling thing to point out, but I love the psychology of this match because when it first started, the first 10 minutes or so, nobody climbed the ladder.
Yes.
And they were all just trying to incapacitate one another before somebody finally climbed the ladder, which is how a ladder match should work, right? Because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, get everybody down and then you climb the ladder, and then somebody recovers. I loved that psychology, the fact that they switched it up just a little bit and didn't go right for climbing the ladder. Um, yeah, all around fun match, and every single team in this match did their job. Um, After the match, now I made the mistake of going to get another drink right when this match.
Oh.
So I'm in the hallway, and lucky for me, they have on the TVs outside in the hallway of what's going on. And so I'm just chilling, I'm waiting for my drink. I look up at the TV, I see Jack Perry. I have no idea what led to him coming out. Rue will break that down for everybody. Um, but saw Jack Perry, and um I can't remember who was in there with him.
It was Young Bucks.
Okay, yeah. So it was the Young Bucks in there with him, and all of a sudden, Kill Switch, aka Luchasaurus, comes out and takes out the Young Bucks. He then takes off the Kill Switch belt, meaning he's going back to Luchasaurus, and then they hug it out. So it seems as though Jack Perry and Luchasaurus are back as a tag team, supposedly a babyface tag team once again. And
Oh
then
yeah.
they played their theme song after.
It was so good. I love this so much. I love this. Oh my god. Apart from the amazing wrestling, this was my favorite moment of the night. This was so good. So yeah, as you said, Josh, so at the end of the match, as the Young Bucks are kind of getting, they were the last team to get out of the ring, and as they're getting out of the ring, Jack Perry appears and he just flips off both the Bucks. They obviously start beating him down, and then they're about to hit the EVP trigger or whatever the hell it's called. And Jack Perry's just laughing at them, and they're like, "What are you laughing at? like, why are you laughing, you madman?" And then they play. I don't know. Did you see the video package
Yeah.
they played on this? Yeah, you did. Okay. They then play for a video package, which I will say, AEW does do that a lot. I'm not the biggest fan of that because then it spoils who it is. Obviously, when they appear in the ring. So they played a video package of Jack Perry digging up a coffin. Kind of then kind of go for like a Frankenstein's monster type revival, and you see him plugging stuff into this table. And then Luchasaurus sits up and starts screaming, and obviously the crowd are going mental at this point. Come back to the ring, lights come on. You just see the Bucks and Jack Perry. You can't quite see Luchasaurus yet. Well, at the time, I guess Kill Switch pans around. He's there. He then takes out both the Bucks, and yeah, as you said, him and Jack Perry hug it out, and then takes off the Kill Switch belt, throws it into the crowd. They start hugging. Everyone's waving. Tarzan Boy starts playing, which was amazing. They then are going out the ring, and then I think a very subtle detail, which, as you said, Josh, you assume that they're baby faces. Jack Perry goes to walk down the heel one, but he looks at Luchasaurus, and they kind of go, "Wait!" and they both point to the babyface tunnel, and they go down that tunnel. So Jurassic Express are back together. I'm happy. Tarzan Boy's happy. Let's go. Give them the belts right now. As much as I just said, I love Brody though.
I just have a wonderful image of Rue tearing up at the television.
I was when Tarzan Boy was playing. I was like, oh my god.
It's happening. I didn't like where Luchasaurus was going, so I'm really happy about this one.
Yeah. Yeah, and enough to make a grown man cry, right?
Was.
Uh, so yeah, we okay, we have 7 minutes left in this one. We'll get through this in 7 minutes. The main event was obviously for the AEW World Championship. Hangman Adam Page defeated Kyle Fletcher by pinfall to retain. The stipulation was if the Don Callis family interferes, Fletcher will be disqualified and stripped of the TNT title. Now, I am so used to my WWE mindset of things that I was like, there's no way there's going to be no interference in this match. However, there was no interference in this match. I was so happy. You like just this, like the match itself was great. But the fact that there was no interference just made me so happy. I was like, "Oh my goodness, thank the Lord." Um yeah, fantastic match all around. I expected Hangman Adam Page to retain here, but I have no doubt in my mind that Kyle Fletcher, who looked fantastic in this match, is going to win that title sometime down the road.
Yeah, I think if I was to ask Stu right now to write a script by script event of what you would have expected from a Hangman Adam Page and I guess new into his title reign TNT champion Kyle Fletcher match, you'd be able to write it. And again, that isn't a knock to say that this was very by the books because it was amazing and it worked so well. As you said, Josh, there was no interference. The two just put on what was it, about 30 to 40 minute wrestling match and it was
Wow.
amazing. And
Wow.
it was incredible and it did what it needed to do. Hangman got the win. Kyle Fletcher looked incredible in the match, and yeah, he's 100% winning that belt in within the next cup. Good few, still got a wee while I think, but good few years he'll be AEW World Champion. He's a
So I would say the fact that there was no interference is them gauging where Kyle Fletcher is in people's heads and hearts and what he can do without interference and backing. Just put it. They're basically they've said we're going to put who we think is our next star in with who is our current star and see if he can swim. They've given them as much time as they want. They're taking every bit of interference out of it, seeing how it goes with the audience and stuff. And I think by the sounds of what you guys are saying, he's just cemented his future stardom with AEW
I
and
would say so.
probably with everybody else as well.
I would definitely say so. He was amazing. Ian Hangman, I was actually thinking about this before we came on, and I'm going to say a mental statement, but just to have a thought about it, I'm like, is Hangman one of the most underrated wrestlers in the world? And I say that
Yeah.
because you hear that though. I think a lot of people hear that and go, well, obviously not. He's Hangman Adam Page. But if I was to ask anyone, like, who's your top five favorite wrestlers, I can guarantee a lot of people would forget Hangman.
Yep.
Every single time he puts on in the words of Sheamus, bang out after classic. Every match doesn't miss. He is so ridiculously good at his job. So equally as much as Kyle Fletcher was amazing, so was Hangman.
Hangman, I've never seen a bad Hangman Adam Page
That's
match. Ever.
that's my point. That's what I thought about, and I was like, neither have I.
Yeah.
But then I was like, if I hadn't seen this match and you were just to say, oh, Ru, who's your top five? Even who's your top 10 favorite wrestlers? I don't know if Hangman would make it onto there. Not because he doesn't there, because I would straight up forget. But every single time he goes and does it when he's main event matches, and I go, oh shit, yeah, he definitely should be on there. He is so goddamn good.
Yeah. That's another reason I don't want that title off him anytime soon either.
Yeah.
It's just time to fly with this. I think it's the forehead to nose ratio. I think that's why people don't put him in their tops.
Yeah, I love everything about Hangman Adam Page, and like another like psychology thing to just point out like something I picked up from Santino Morella as well. He is one who told me like you can be a babyface, but at the end of the day, you're going out there for a fight. You shouldn't be all smiles and happy and joyful. You should walk down with that locked in look on your face, like you're about to really go into a fight. Hangman Adam Page does that every single time, especially last night at All Out. You can see, like, okay, he's walking down to the ring with purpose. This is a big fight feel. Everything that Hangman does, every little thing, just is actually a big thing because he makes it so good. And I completely agree with you, Stu. I think he should be holding that title for a lot longer. And yeah, Hangman Page and Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita are easily becoming some of my favorite wrestlers on the planet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, but that was AEW All Out. We are going to get into WrestlePalooza in just a minute, but I have to create another meeting, so I will be right back. All right, we are back. So yeah, that was AEW All Out Toronto, a fantastic show, from top to bottom. Obviously, some matches that didn't mean too much, but for the most part, it was a great show. Now we are going to move on to WrestlePalooza. I still hate that name. I hate when it's said. I hate when I say it.
Hate what it stands
So
for. Hate
anyway,
it even more now.
I
um,
love the way Tony says it.
no,
Yeah.
Palooza. Um,
Hello.
so I'm assuming nothing happened on the pre-show other than LA Knight being announced as the special guest referee for the tag team match.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was as you galled with the fact that I got that wrong. I wasn't actually watching. I was watching AEW.
Fair. Um, so yeah, during the pre-show, for anyone that doesn't know and didn't see anything, and you came here for results, Ellie Knight during the pre-show was announced to be the special guest referee for the match between the Usos and the Vision, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. So we're gonna get into that a little bit later on. We kicked off the night with Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. Brock Lesnar defeating John Cena. I knew that they were gonna go down this route. With Lesnar winning, this meant nothing to me at all. I didn't care for it at all. Brock Lesnar beat the hell out of Cena, gave him like what, five F5s, um, and that was it.
I I hated this.
Yep.
I've got to even say anything else. I absolutely despise this. I just every single time with WWE, I try to have hope, and I just get let down at the minute. Like nothing in this made any sense. They hyped it up to be such a big match, and they did. And I said this in my video. They suckered me in because it was the whole we'll put this on first because it bleeds into the AEW, which it did. And I was one of the suckers that went, well, as much as I love Hangman and Fletcher, I was like, I want to see what's going to happen in Cena and Brock because there's so many possible outcomes that could happen, and they've somehow managed to pick on the worst one. Um, I switched over. I paused AEW. I came over to WWE. For absolute nothing, for a shit version of the SummerSlam 2014 match. This was, and this is my point. They made it like such a big deal. The opening entrance. This is a new era on ESPN. But Vince McMahon was getting shown on the screen, which was funny listening to some of the boos around
Yeah, I saw that.
the yeah. Um, some of the boos, I mean, they made it such a bit. I mean, the pyro they had was insane.
Oh
Um,
my, oh my goodness.
it just went
Oh,
on and on and on. It just kept going. It was mental. And you had Cena coming out like a WrestleMania entrance. Brock came out. He got no, sorry, he got Heyman to come and announce him like the old days. Like, this felt like such a big fight feel for that absolute dog shit of a match. Like I genuinely hate this. And then the fact, and I think what made it even worse, I don't think it would have saved it, but if they had done something at the end to set up a match and at Crown Jewel, maybe we could have been looking at it in a bit of a better light. But they didn't. They did nothing. Cena just walked out, and that was it. And I think, and it's so, but I think they're just going to do a rematch. I don't know if it'll be a Crown Jewel or if I'm slightly scared it could end up being his body retirement match where Cena will get his win back eventually. Um, Cena has like 5 dates left. That's it. We know one of them's probably going to be Brock. Um, I despise everything that stands around and has to do with this. I hate it.
Yeah, I'm trying to be the positive one here. Sadly, we've started with Brock versus John Cena. The whole thing, settle back, people. Because I knew nothing about AEW, man. So I'm just chipping in with this. But settle back for this one. I got some shit to say. The whole thing about John Cena's retirement run, for me, the great thing about it was he was going to be able to put over younger talent on his way out the door, create some stars as he went. And apart from Logan Paul, he has had none of that. He's had Cody twice. He's had Randy Orton. He's had fucking R-Truth. And now we've got Brock Lesnar, and we are definitely going to have Brock Lesnar again, as Ruth said rightly. We're going to have that match again in one of his last 5 dates. So what is the point of all this? I don't get it anymore. He must be just like, because he says he's not the one making these decisions. If he ain't the one making these decisions, I bet he cannot wait to just get out the door now. So, just kidding. I'm going to turn up and say hello 5 times and piss off. I don't want my own PLE. I just want to go now. They're just lining up dross after dross after dross. And, oh, man, after the really positive, the Logan Paul match was good. The Cody Rhodes SummerSlam match was so good. I thought, okay, now we're getting there. The Punk match was pretty decent as well. And then we do this. We've done this. We did it in 2014. Why are we doing it again? We're going to try and make Brock Lesnar look really strong. We don't need to make Brock Lesnar look strong. He spent 20 years in a UFC match looking strong. There's no point to what they did. I don't get it. It's just stupid. And he came out with all the kids. Hey, come out, kids, and watch me get murdered. What was the point? I don't understand it. Looked like a bunch of bananas when they came out. Yellow was a terrible choice for him. The love of God. Why? I'm sorry.
No,
I've finished my root beer. So
it's made you
Donkey
more
now.
annoyed because you've tasted it. Oh. It's so true though. That's what it came down to. It was just like I said this is my like review, and I'm like, what the hell went down in that writers meeting where everyone
Right?
went, yeah, that's a good idea.
Cracking idea. Brock walked in. That's what happened. I'm going to do this. Okay.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. All that would have happened then is a rock turns up and helps him. That would have been fun.
At
I
least, well, if
love
the
it.
Rock had turned up, at least something would have happened at the end.
Very true. And also, it makes no sense. Paul Heyman
Oh,
introducing him. Meant to be part of Vision. What's happened to them? Seth Rollins. I don't think Seth Rollins had even talked to Bron Breakker or Bronson Reed for the last month. He's gone and lost with his missus. Paul Heyman's now introducing his old mate. What's going on? Jesus. Sorry. Anyway.
on you go, Josh.
Yeah, I don't understand any of this either. Like the Seth Rollins know about this connection between Heyman and Brock right now? Like, what is going on? The Vision just seems so separated. Like they seem like they're all doing their own thing and they're their own group.
Yeah.
Seth is doing his own thing with Becky. Braun and Bronson, like you mentioned, I don't know the last time we've seen them all together other than them entering the arena together. And like Paul Heyman just introduced Brock Lesnar. Like, what are we doing? It's so stupid. And like, unfortunately, I was hoping that they wouldn't go this route, but I had a very strong feeling that they would. And I think that crown jewel is going to be the rematch that this happens because nothing else was set up after. So they're gonna find some way to roundabout to a rematch between these two where Cena goes over, which I have no interest in seeing whatsoever. I didn't have any interest in seeing this. I don't have any interest in seeing them go at it again.
I totally
I'm
agree.
gonna
I think as well what is so frustrating. I said this, and Josh, if you remember, when we did the post show for the Saturday night's main event in July, the one where they went up against All In. It's
Yeah.
this brings into this argument. It's not even an argument actually. I don't like. I was going to say the whole like, argument about the counter programming. They just shouldn't be doing it. But all that's happened is WWE embarrass himself time after time after time. I said this after Saturday's main event, where I literally, I think, to quote myself, was like, if that's the what you're going to put up against the main event, which because of the way they work the schedules, and I think it's a smart thing on AEW to go, we'll go earlier Because if you're putting the main event up against this pile of literal dog shit, what are we doing? All it does is make you look stupid. You already look petty for doing the show on the day, and all you have done is you just embarrassed yourself, and that's all that's happened. So they need to stop. But they're not going to stop counter programming. But all that's happening right now is they look petty and they've embarrassed themselves and they look stupid.
There's one positive, one tiny positive,
I'm waiting.
and it's only a personal positive. And that positive is my wife's only just started watching wrestling, so she hasn't seen John Cena versus Randy Orton, or John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, or John Cena versus R-Truth. So, that's nice for her. She gets to see it all at least. She's really excited. Like, oh my God, Brock Lesnar. I'm like, yes, it was very exciting when I saw it 12 years ago.
Oh man, this is just so bad. And following that was the tag team match with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed defeating the Usos by pinfall. Now, like I mentioned earlier, LA Knight was a special guest referee. And LA Knight decided to just make this a no DQ match. Other than that, LA Knight did fuck all. He actually refereed the match, guys. He actually refereed the match properly, other than letting, chair shots slide and not counting. He what was the point in this? The match was good. It's the Usos and Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Of course it's gonna be a good match. They're four great competitors. But the logic in this was completely thrown away. Why didn't you just make it a tornado tag team match? Why did LA Knight have to be in there? Did you need LA Knight on the card that bad? You're like, let's make you the special guest referee. Let's just do exactly what we did with Bianca Belair not too long ago.
Oh yeah.
There's no logic in it. It made no sense. The Vision won, which I expected them to. They needed the win, so that's a positive. But other than that, this just made no sense at all.
Yeah, so like, I'll try and put, and by the way, this is literally a tiny little bit of sense onto that, a tiny little bit, because at the end of the day, I think they just shouldn't have done it. I think overall the match, and I said this, I think the match was fine. Like that's the thing, it was nothing that you wouldn't get on Monday Night Raw. That means it doesn't mean it's bad. It just wasn't anything spectacular. And I think I used the description of this entire card, except from one match. This entire card felt like it was booked by Vince McMahon in 2017. It felt like watching Backlash from Old No Mercy from 2017. That's how it felt. The booking decisions, and this again felt that, and again it wasn't. It was absolutely fine. I was laughing at the Vision coming out with the wee matching jackets. It looked
Oh, that was
ridiculous.
adorable.
It was adorable. But yeah, it was an absolute fine match. But and this is the only bit, and I think it got lost in a bit of a hectic chaos at the end of having LA Knight there. Again, I still don't quite think it was necessary. But obviously, with what happened to Jey Uso, as I described him as looking like bloody Eddie Guerrero from '04, he was punctured pretty hard in that match, to say the least. Um, it felt as soon as he started going, you could see the panic a little bit. It felt like that last segment was rushed. Now, I think they were going to the close of the match anyway. It was heading that direction, but it felt like they kind of hit the panic button and went, let's just get to the end now. Because everything that was going on, like the spear from Braun to Jey, was from only about a foot away. It was
Yeah.
it was the and then the scramble of trying for I think Jey even just realised where he was and could actually see. When Braun went for the spear, Jey pushed LA Knight out the way. And I think that's something that's been lost in the translation of this match because of the hectic final minute of everything that went on. And it kind of got lost in the confusion. So I think that's the tiny important bit of storyline that has been completely wiped out by, I think, as well, just the general talk of this entire show. But within this match specifically, because of what happened, and it's unfortunate accidents happen, shit happens. But because of that, I think that was missed because commentary didn't even mention it. With the fact
No.
that Jey pushed LA Knight out the way, which is again, I don't really like that because it's going back on what's been happening the last couple of weeks. But that's the only tiny bit of storyline relevance that I could find within the match. But apart from that, it was fine. It's just you would see it on Monday Night Raw. It wasn't bad, wasn't particularly amazing either.
Yeah, so I was going to make that point as well. I think we probably lost something at the end.
Yeah.
I think there was going to be a little bit more shenanigans, or at least bigger than what it was.
Yep.
But I mean, first of all, there's only one man in the WWE that can injure himself with his own chair shot, and that man is Jey Uso. This is why I love him so much. He is the real life R-Truth. If something dumb can happen, it will be Jey Uso who does it. And the fact he managed to tear himself apart with his own chair
mistake. like that's what it wasn't like he just like, for anyone who hasn't seen it, is listen, I'm not, he wasn't like he just like cut himself a little bit. Like he was looking like Eddie Guerrero or JBL from Judgment Day in 2005.
Blushing. Because I thought Bron was so covered in blood that I thought Bron had been the one who cut himself somewhere. I was like, oh my God, what's happened to Bron?
It happens
like
so quickly.
Over there, like some kind of blood fountain.
That's the point, though. It happens so quickly. Like, that's what I mean. Like,
so
it must have been bad because it just squirted out of him.
Yeah, because I sort of went back and watched it. LA Knight went over to him, looked at him, and was like, and then went over and said something to Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker then speared Jey, and we went straight into the finish. And as you say, that spear was from like a foot away. So I think that was a Bron Breakker saying, get down. We're going to do this now. Let's go home. So I think the point of LA Knight being in that match was lost in what didn't happen at the end. As you say, Rue, yeah, he did push him out of the way. The whole thing was going to be bigger and probably a lot more considered. But we all panicked. We had, and this is going to sound really weird, we had an inexperienced referee in there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
refs are actually quite important with that stuff. So I think we had an inexperienced referee who made the call of, we're going home now, guys, because I think Jey Uso's about to die. So come on, let's all go and get him some medical attention. So yeah, I think the point of LA Knight being the special guest referee was lost slightly. The match was fine. It was good. Braun and Bron look better and better together, which is a real positive to come out of it.
At least they won.
And they won, yeah, which is that absolutely needed to happen. They came out in their little Road Warrior leather jackets, which was, God bless them, adorable. And yeah, it was a shame the end happened, but it could only happen to Jey Uso.
So, Stu, you brought up the referee point with LA Knight. He was wearing the earpiece.
Yes.
And like you could see visibly that he was talking.
Yeah, he could.
To who, like Triple H or whoever was in his ear. And LA Knight is so loud with his calls. The moment you're talking about when he went over to Broad Breaker, I heard him very clearly. He said, "Go to the spear."
Yeah.
And
I missed that, so it makes sense.
Yeah. So all I heard was spear. I was like, oh, okay. And then they just went to the finish.
There's another moment with LA Knight's brilliant calling where he stood outside the ring. I think it's with Bron Breakker. And he's like, hey, you, get back in the ring, get back in the ring. And then you hear him as the camera pans away go, not quite yet, not quite yet.
That was actually a question I was going to ask, I guess. Pull back the curtain a little bit, because I didn't actually realize this. So when the wrestlers are doing these special guests, they are actually reffing. It's not like a ref outside the ring. That's like all like said, like they are actually like they'll, as you said, like they are calling what's meant to happen, like an official ref would.
Yeah, because you could see he was touching his ear an awful lot.
Yeah, he definitely was.
As in, he's like very uncomfortable with hearing somebody going bah, 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 in his ear. So yeah, definitely, he was actually refereeing.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, it was in a match where we probably needed a really experienced one at the end there.
Yeah.
We then went on to the vacant Women's World Championship match. Stephanie Vaquer defeated Io Skye to win the title. Fantastic match. I expected this from Io and Stephanie. Did not actually expect Vaquer to walk away with the title. Rue did. Stu, I can't remember who you picked.
I think I wetted out in the end and went for Io. Even though on my previous predictions video I picked Steph Vaquer, but I think you turned me, Josh. You turned me into a loser.
Yeah, so Stephanie Vaquer beat Io Sky to win the Women's World Championship. Um, and a fantastic match, like I mentioned, and we all expected that. And there's nothing else really to say about that match. Then it was a really good match, and Stephanie Vaquer won the title. I'm intrigued to see where they go from here with this cursed Women's World Championship. Um, because who does she feud with now? Does she still feud with Io? Do they do the Rhea match in Perth already? I think that should be something that's saved for WrestleMania.
I know the
Um,
answer to this actually.
but yeah, Stephanie Vaquer is the new Women's World Championship, so congrats to her.
Yeah, I'm very happy Steph won. I really wanted this. It also apparently came out that she was being incredibly ill in the run up to this show. Um, so fair play for going out and just doing that with Io Sky. Io was amazing because Io is amazing.
Yeah.
But no, I actually have an answer to that. Because they said it on commentary because I thought this as well, and it's they've managed to give themselves a bit of saving grace here, WWE, with the timing. Um, I've seen a lot of people say, like, what does Steph do? And I had the same thought, like, what is going to happen going forward? However, they can give themselves a couple of weeks leeway because she doesn't need a storyline because her match at Crown Jewel was against Tiffy for the Crown Jewel
All
Championship.
right.
So she doesn't, so it's not going to be her and Rhea, as you said. So they don't need, no, granted, that doesn't necessarily make for great storytelling on TV, but she doesn't necessarily need a feud at the minute. Once Crown Jewel's done, though, yes, we need to get on that. And I'm hoping, Touchwood, that potentially we might get a returning Liv Morgan to go up into here. But yeah, I'm very happy for Stephanie. Very, very, very good match. Best match of the night by far. That was the one I said when I was like, this card felt like it was booked by Vince McMahon, except this match. So yeah, fair. But that like spinal tap thing she did at the end
Oh
looked
gosh.
ridiculous.
How well did she
So
land
good.
that?
I know,
So good.
like, how do you,
Perfect.
man? And it's the fact even for Io, I'm like, how that must be so sore as well. Anyway, they looked amazing. Congrats to Steph. The fact she's been here, what, only just over a year as well. I think I seen that stat. She's the first wrestler since RVD to win 3 championships. I think within like 3 different championships within like her first year, or like within the same year. Sorry, that was it. Within 2025, she's won 3. She's the first wrestler since RVD in WWE to do that. So fair play to her.
The that match was between the greatest wrestler, certainly the greatest women's wrestler of all time, against possibly the second best women's wrestler in the world at the moment. I personally think it started off so technically brilliant. It was an actual technical match to begin with. We grew into the spectacular stuff at the end, but it was still entertaining as hell because of just how good and how smooth they were working at the beginning of it. It went on an upward trajectory the whole time. It was just a beautiful match of two women who respected each other. So you didn't need the antagonizing or anything like that at all. It was just a very special technical match. And to me, Io Sky is now the best women's wrestler of all time. She is incapable of a bad match. Her energy, just everything about her matches is just spectacular. I mean, when she faces Rhea in her matches, the whole thing is she just has counters to everything Rhea does. And that's just a different level of in-match storytelling, which I love. I love Io Sky. I'm sad she hasn't won the belt to the fact that her pose at the top of the ramp when she enters is so much better when she's got that belt in her hand. But I'm also really happy for Steph Care. I think she's brilliant. And I think Io, Steph, and Asuka are all going to be playing with each other for a while after Crown Jewel. Um, I'm really happy you said that about Crown Jewel because I didn't want the Rhea Steph Care thing yet at all. Maybe Rhea wins the IC title off of Becky Lynch. Who knows?
I think that the IC title is going to be won by the woman who was in the next match, which was the mixed tag team match. CM Punk and AJ Lee taking on Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Um, a good match, and this was fun. This was we found out today that was this match was produced by TJ Wilson, aka Tyson Kidd. Um, so shout out to TJ Wilson because this was fun and it ended the way that it should, which was AJ Lee getting the win over Becky Lynch, not just pinning Becky Lynch, submitting Becky Lynch with the Black Widow. Um, yeah, this was fun all around. This was cool. It was cool to see AJ Lee back in the ring. She had a couple mishaps at first, but then eventually got herself together. And you can see that she still has that style that she had back in 2012, which is fine. Like I don't expect her to start pulling out Canadian destroyers or pile drivers or anything like that. Um, it was good for what it was, and I enjoyed this a lot.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, and now this is just my own fault for going on X, to be honest with you. But I've seen a lot of people quite down on this match. I thought it was good and did what it was meant to do. It was campy, it was gimmicky, and it was fun. It was never going to be this technical masterclass because that's not the point of it. That wasn't the story being told. And I think everyone played their part really well, especially Becky and Seth. They were amazing. Took a while to get into it with obviously the joking around with Becky and Seth switching in and out of the ring. But when we finally got that hot tag, it was amazing. I said a couple of mishaps with AJ Lee, but she's been gone for 10 plus years. It's allowed. It's fine.
Yeah.
And as I said, it wasn't meant to be a technical masterclass, so it doesn't matter. And when they actually did get the things right, like a lot of the transition into the submission moves, particularly on Seth from AJ Lee, I thought looked really, really good. I thought she looked amazing. The table spot looked brutal for her, particularly you can see Punk
Oh
rolling
my
over
god!
to her. You can see Punk rolling over to be like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" She
Yeah.
was
Are
fine.
you dead? Are you okay?
Yeah, exactly. She was fine. Yeah, I think everyone played their part in this match really, really well. And yeah, I agree. I agree with Josh saying no. I do believe that AJ Lee's for singles feud will be going ahead against Becky Lynch.
Oh, I absolutely agree. That will happen. I'm just trying to find a high spot for Rhea while she's in her home country, what she could be doing.
Talk to CM Punk
I,
again.
well, yeah. I really like this match, and we were talking about the joking around, switching in and out of the tags at the beginning for Seth and Becky. That did exactly what it was supposed to do because I could not wait for the second that AJ Lee finally got in there to clock Becky. Her heel work is unreal. Ever since
Oh,
the whole Punk Rollins AJ Lee thing, her heel work has gone next level. Like I love
so
Becky Lynch,
good.
but Mike, I hate her.
She's
I'm like, I
so good, isn't she? It's
so
ridiculous.
good,
Like,
so good.
it,
She's taken that heel persona to just with the CM Punk thing added to just next level nuclear asshole. Um, to like I kind of getting there. I just want Punk to just hit her one time, just knock her out.
I
I'm
know
not
you're like
condoning
begging
violence
for
against
it.
women.
Begging for hot take. Actually, here's my hot take. I don't know if it is or not. This rendition of Becky Lynch is so much better than the 2019 man. I love
100
this
agree.
one so much more.
100% agree. It's like they've let her loose now.
Yeah,
It's like they've just kind of said, just go out and just be massive. Just do your thing. And she's run with it brilliantly. I'm kind of sad this is probably the end of that part of it, and she's going to go back to, as you say, almost certainly a rivalry with AJ Lee. But her work with Punk, especially, it feels so real. It's not, but God, it feels real, and that's just credit to her. She's made it feel incredibly real, and the match was ace. I really enjoyed the match. People have ring rust. Charlotte Flair came back. She had ring rust for about
yeah,
like 2 or 3 matches. AJ Lee came back and had ring rust for like 20 minutes.
yep.
So yeah, credit to her as well, man. First time back in the ring for 10 years in front of a big crowd, wrestling with your husband against his absolute blood rival. That's pressure. But no, she did great. I thought the match was really good.
Yeah, Becky Lynch is no doubt one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time. It's not just her saying it, Sports Illustrated says it as well. Um, so that was that match. Which, that was a fun match and it meant something. A match that didn't mean shit though was the undisputed WWE Championship match between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. A fine enough match. It wasn't I honestly expected it to be better, and maybe that's just on me. Um, but I got nothing from this match. Cody Rhodes retained, and that was it.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is what I mean. Like this felt like the most Vince McMahon in 2017, 2018 ending to a pay-per-view that there ever was. And I said this in my video, in the fact that like if this match had happened early on in the card, obviously folk would still be annoyed because of the complete lack of anything happening. I don't think people would be batting as much of an eyelid as they are with this because it was the main event. I totally agree. I think as match was fine. Again, similar to the Usos match, it's not something you wouldn't find on SmackDown. It was fine. The two guys went out there and did their job. They put on a wrestling match, and better than complete trash. That's was it, and it was absolutely fine. It was the outcome of it for a lot of people. Now I know I was in the camp. I know some people really thought Drew was going to win. I would have loved Drew to win, but I was like, there's no chance that it's going to happen. At least at the minute, anyway. I said them, and the match was fine, but it was just that complete lack of anything. And here's the thing that's so frustrating about that as well, especially like when you look at like the Cena Brock one, there's all this speculation. There was people saying, "Oh, what if it's Edge, even though he wrestled earlier on that night in Bloody Toronto? What if it's Chris Jericho with naming from around? What if it's a returning Gunther?" But with this match, it was such an easy decision to make for an active member of their roster who they currently have wrestling for them. Just bring Randy Orton out. I don't care what he does, just to do something. But no, Cody won. And the other thing as well, like I guess the argument come out of it is once again Drew's been screwed, and I love Drew and I love whiny Drew, but there's only so much of I've been screwed that I think even I can take, because that's all we're going to get now. Um, I don't know. It just cemented this pay per view or this PLE for what it was. Completely pointless, complete trash. You had Triple H being like, "Oh, this PLE is going to be groundbreaking. Going to be so many surprises." There was jack shit. Paul, stop lying. It is awful, and that's what I mean. The match itself, if this had been on, if they hadn't built this pay per view up to be what it was, be in competition with AEW, he's like they might have got away with it. Again, I still think it's a really shit outcome that they've done. They might have got away, but putting all this hype, all this time, all this effort, all this just again like driving fans to have to make this choice now between AEW. Like I said, like Josh, like you went to AEW, but then you're like, well, I can't watch WrestlePalooza tonight. Um, Having to force fans to make all you're doing is embarrassing yourselves, being petty, and pissing people off, and then not even just like giving an inch back to the fan base who are subsidizing you so much currently. I would have been pissed if I paid to go to the show. Apart from the women's match, I would and seeing AJ Lee, I would have been pissed for the main event and Brock Lesnar. All that money because they probably ramped up the prices because of who was on the show. I would have been absolutely fuming. I think this just summed up what WWE can't think of the fans. I don't know. I freaking hated this show.
Yeah, yeah. The match psychology in itself. Cody Rhodes was selling some kind of head injury. Now, if Cody Rhodes is selling a head injury that was caused on SmackDown or the table shot a few weeks prior, which he was selling something because he was stumbling around like a drunk baby at one point, or either that or he's actually concussed. Communicate that to the commentators so they can tell us that story. What they did was like, oh, well, maybe it's because of this, or maybe it's because of that, and blah, blah, blah. There's no cohesion even between the commentators and the action going on in the ring. Drew McIntyre, yeah, as soon as he got the 3 count that wasn't the 3 count, I turned to my wife and I said, well, that's him moaning about that for the next 5 years now. We need to move past that. The size of the geezer, the look of him, he's meant to be the Scottish psychopath, doesn't translate into whining on Twitter. It just
I'm more of
doesn't.
a psychopath on this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm the
I just,
Scottish psychopath.
I'm the Scottish psychopath. Hashtag screwed.
Screwed.
You know. Oh my God. And yeah, the whole thing was just bad. It was just this match. It wasn't a fine match, I don't think. It wasn't a fine match because in the context of what it was supposed to be, it did not deliver at all. And yeah, I'm with you, Rue, on the whole Triple H promised surprises everywhere. Groundbreaking. No, all it was groundbreaking for is ESPN paid you a shitload of money to have your programming on theirs now. That was groundbreaking for you and for your wallet. For the rest of us, we do not care. Don't care. Don't care that you spent 20 minutes telling us that Stephanie McMahon's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh my God, I
I
forgot
don't
about
care.
that.
What a lovely moment for Stephanie McMahon. Nobody else. We don't care. You seem to have gone all insular. You seem to, when I say you, not you guys, WWE. They've gone all like, our great news is your great news. No, your great news is brilliant for your bank account. Your great news means cock all to us unless you're going to deliver and you're not delivering all of a sudden. And it's sad. And I likened it on my video. It's like my relationship with my cats. I love my
I was
cats
pissing
so
myself
much,
at that.
but every now and again they piss on the couch and I want to throw them out the window. I don't, but I want to. That's my relationship now with the WWE.
Yeah.
Like, I love you so much, but all you're doing at the moment is starting to piss me off, and I've done nothing wrong to you. So why are you doing this? All you're doing now is feeding your goddamn bank accounts. You're promising the world and delivering Scunthorpe.
It's always Scunthorpe, forget it. But you're so right though. Like that is the point I was making. Like all the other ones that they've failed to deliver on, like with the Brock and John match. Like I'm not. I still am not trying to defend them at all because it was a load of shit. But it was like, oh, it's maybe going to be a surprise. They literally have like Randy Orton sat backstage doing nothing.
Yeah.
Like they could have just had him. Why not just have Randy Orton there? That have him be the one to screw Drew. I said I can't be bothered with screw Drew anymore. I love screw Drew, but at this point, I can't be bothered. It's been too long. I
Yeah.
just want to see him win the bloody belt. But like have Randy screw Drew, not a freaking ref count. Like,
Yeah, literally. It was such a stupid moment as well. The ref jumping out the ring.
oh,
Why?
I
Go to the left, not the
like
right.
exactly, and that's what you said. Like from the in-ring psychology and storyline point of view, like this was just like the one of the dumbest matches. Like this made zero sense. And the fact that they've gone, yeah, they know what this should main event because this is going to get them. Like I want, like we've just been given WWE Unreal and on what the hell it's called. And I want to see this next season that shows this summer to be like, what the fuck are you just talking about in that writers room?
Oh, I've just thought of another reason I'm pissed off as well. I've just thought of another one. You guys were going to be the moany one on this one. How have I ended up being a moany one? I was going to try and be really positive. The like SmackDown the other day, the referee stopped Drew McIntyre from
Oh,
kicking Cody against the announce table again. It's not illegal. Why are you stopping it happening? The pun is not illegal. Why are you stopping it happening? I'm fairly sure it's the same referee as well. I know it's not his fault. He's been told to do this, but still, again, just illogical storytelling.
yeah, and
Stupid.
and as you said, like it goes back to the ESPN deal and Triple H. Just I like I just don't again try to figure out the thought process here. Like just look, the first thing I seen, I don't know if you were saying when they showed Triple H in the ring was holy shit, that's a lot of sponsorships on that canvas. Like, that was the first thing I thought. I just said they are absolutely raking it in with money, and all they're doing is like. Whereas again, we'll start a GoFundMe for Stu, but for £15, you get AEW, and you get 13 very very good matches and match of the years,
Oh,
and it's so much
bro,
so worth the money.
I don't mean to cut you off,
No,
but I I do have some other points to make as well, but we have like less than a minute in this meeting, so I do have to create a new one.
oh my god, okay,
Oh,
So I will be right back.
god, okay.
Sorry. All right, we are back. Apologies to Rue once again. But we have much more time to ramble on about how much we hated this. So you may continue.
I'll try to remember what I was saying. I think I was just going on about the bloody ESPN. Just this whole thing was just so. As I mean, like overall, as a pay per view, I said if this had been a bog standard B tier, hadn't been, it already been planned early on in the year. It wasn't booked to counter program AEW, and it just been booked as is. Apart from the Brock and Cena one, that is levels of just sheer skullfuckery I'll never understand. But if this had just been booked as a B tier pay per view somewhere else in the middle of the year, it probably would have actually been like, oh, that was actually all right. But considering everything that surrounded this, all the stakes, all the BS that we were being fed, this just I think symbolizes the current state of WWE's management and mindset in 2025, and that's fine. I know it's not going to change. I'm not. I'm not oblivious to it. I know it is what it is now, especially TKO. It's what's going to keep happening. It's just really disappointing. And as you said, like Stu, it's like you used to the example with your cats. You absolutely love them to death. I love the WWE. The WWE is my childhood. I love it. I mean, I think yourself and me talked about this, Josh, in another podcast where it's like it's literally like a drug. I'm addicted to the WWE. It's not
Yeah.
something I can just get away from. But oh my god, it pisses me off from time to time.
I live a sober life, and they are trying their hardest to make me drink.
Exactly.
Um,
God.
yeah, I am in the same exact boat with everything. I have made it very clear that I hate this TKO thing, and I hate it even more that ESPN got more pyro than Cody Rhodes. Um, oh my God. Like as soon as the show starts, guys, I was off of the adrenaline of All Out. I came home. I made my tea. I made something to eat. I was relaxing. I had some time with my dog. I was ready to turn on WrestlePalooza, and I see that. Just so much pyro for ESPN. I'm like, oh my goodness. And what made this even worse is um you guys may not be familiar with Stephen A. Smith from ESPN. But earlier in the week, Stephen A. Smith, who I have the utmost amount of respect for, and we have like I've been on his show once when I submitted a question to him, and he answered it. It was a basketball related question, and he absolutely flamed my question and buried me completely. But um. So I respect everything he's done. He's a great basketball analyst. He's a good football analyst. But brother, you can't be making these top five lists about wrestling because oh my, how are you gonna put Goldberg as your number one wrestler of all time? I
Wow.
mean, come on, dude. Come on. And it's it's terrible. It was a terrible list. And that just goes even more why I hate this ESPN thing. Because the guys at ESPN, they as much respect as I have for them. I watch ESPN as much as I can in the mornings, but they don't know what they're talking about when it comes to wrestling. And Stephen A. Smith is somebody who the list that he made, it makes sense for him, I guess you could say, because he's used to like this old school style of wrestling. But it doesn't make the company look any better because now you're gonna have people who don't watch wrestling thinking Goldberg is the greatest of all time, and that's not the case, ladies and gentlemen. It's not, and I wish like ESPN would hire somebody like me to go on this show and be like,
It's a job
"Listen,
application.
this is not the case." Um,
I
it's
agree.
there.
I say Josh for ESPN right now. Let's start the movement.
Um, so and then like circling back to the Cody thing, this may be a hot take. But I don't care anymore because I think that this Cody Rhodes world title reign is one of the most boring world title reigns I have ever seen in my life.
You've only seen him on one SmackDown. That's
It's
the point.
terrible. I don't understand what they're doing. He's probably gonna hold this title all the way till WrestleMania again. It's stupid. It sucks and it's bad. And I think if it weren't for the Vaquer and Io match and the mixed tag match, this would have been one of the worst pay-per-views of the year.
Yeah, That's
Why would
because they've been like fine for it. And this is like my point. It's just like they hyped this up, and you've seen the power at the beginning. It had more than bloody WrestleMania. Like they put this on like this is a rest. I mean, John Cena and Brock Lesnar named by alone. That is something. Like the matches on the card, maybe bar the tag match, were WrestleMania worthy matches. It's like holy shit, we're getting these now. But they've it's as if they've plucked that out and stuck it on like bloody December to remember. That's like what this equivalent was like.
why would you not want to make, from a basis point of view, why would you not want to make every PLE you do, every match you do, especially on PLEs, as great as it could possibly be? You've
Thank you.
got this absolute stacked roster, and yet you can't make every pay-per-view special. I don't get why you can't. You have pretty much for every pay-per-view a month to build it and then put it on. And then you build the next pay-per-view for the next month and you put it on. There's plenty of time for storytelling and there's plenty of scope to make these PLEs, every single one of them, great. Why aren't you doing that? What are you doing? Just, it boggles my mind.
I think part of that comes back round to the whole counter programming argument and the fact that,
Mm.
firstly, they aren't because they don't give themselves the time because, like, oh my god, AEW is doing a pay per view, we must do one. But secondly, if you're going to do that, and which they will, that's fine. We may as well accept that that is what WWE is going to do. Like, I don't like it. No one likes it. It's what they're going to do, though. If you're going to do that, and we've said it before, like AEW every single time, knock out the park. Even AEW's worst show of the year is still up there tying with WWE's best show of the year. They knock it out the park every single time. But the just as you pointed to, like if this is what you're going to do as WWE, you have to come up and meet that level. And
Yeah.
you are nowhere near doing that. And this is like it goes back to my argument I had with the whole Saturday night's main event thing, especially that because it's not even an excuse for it. At least that was a Saturday's the main event. We know that they're completely pointless, or if you put an NXT up against it. That's what everyone said. And all the other times, WWE would never lose. Because if NXT was to go out and be better than the AEW show, it's like, haha, look, our like second brand beat you. If they go out and lose to AEW, which happened every single time, and like I'm using win and lose in quotations because there's not really a win or lose, but I assume you'll know what I mean if they go out and you like don't do as well as AEW's, it's like, oh well, it's NXT, doesn't matter. You've just put your main roster, specifically your WWE champion, John Cena, Brock Lesnar, out there against AEW, and they're falling flat in the freaking arse. And all you've done is embarrass yourself. If you aren't prepared to meet those standards, then I don't know. I can't help you.
Yeah, it's they've really put themselves in a corner here, and I don't get why. I just don't understand it. I, they could only ever lose in the situation they put themselves in, and the sad thing is they're losing quicker than I thought they were going to lose. They're not even putting
Yeah.
up a fight. They've literally started a fight that didn't have to happen, and now they're losing that fight. So bizarre. And these are meant to be some of the smartest businessmen in the world. They can't
No.
book a match, and they can't book a PLE.
Do you
I had
guys
somebody
remember?
say to me, "Oh, sorry,
Sorry.
man, go for it."
I was just gonna say, do you guys remember 2019 when WWE was in its dark times and AEW just bursted on the scene?
Sadly, yes.
Everybody went over to AEW because AEW was the better product and WWE was doing fuck all. We're in that exact same position again
Yeah,
because WWE, they picked themselves up a little bit when Triple H took over, but then TKO came around. And now we're back in the same position. How on earth is AEW able to tell storylines better than the WWE at the moment? And I hate doing the comparison thing. I hate doing it because then the AEW fans will, do their own thing. The WWE fans will get mad or vice versa. But it has to be said. And that's exactly what we're talking about right here because AEW is blowing them out of the park right now. and it's not even close. And it's really bad. I don't understand how you can get some of the best wrestlers of all time in that writer's room, some of the best writers in the world in that writing room, just to go to TKO and then be like, nah, we want John Cena and Brock Lesnar instead. And then say, okay, I don't understand. It's not good. A lot of what they're doing is not good right now.
No,
It's a
it's
very
not.
simple answer. Sorry, Ru, go for it, man.
No, I was just agreeing with you. I was just saying, no, it's not. Like, I was just agreeing.
Not. The answer is really simple. How are AEW able to pull off these amazing PLEs and this amazing storytelling at the moment? Is because AEW are run by a very small group of people, mostly ex-wrestlers, who care A about the product they're putting out and B about the fans who are watching it. WWE are run by a massive group of businessmen who could not give a shit what the fans want. They have an idea of what they think the fans want, but they don't listen. They look at spreadsheets and they look at merch sales and they're like, these are the guys. And they don't care about the storytelling. And they'll poo-poo everything they can to say, well, this guy's a big name, so I want this guy on the card. And I want this guy against this guy because he's a big name. Don't care if the story makes sense or not. Make it make sense for me. That's it.
And how does that sound like from the last 30, 40 years of running the WWE?
Exactly.
It's crazy, and it's like it's mental. That video went round the other week there of that fan kind of, and I think quite rightfully so, kind of accosting Tony, not Tony Khan, sorry, Nick Khan, and, about the ticket prices in WWE, and then he's sitting there joking, being like, "Oh yeah, they're not high enough." Like, shut up.
Wow.
It's not even. I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah, literally,
No.
a fan questioned Nick Khan about ticket prices, and he generally was joking around from being like, "Oh, they're not high enough," and then the fan was like, "No, they're too freaking high," and then they're so just unaware. I think,
Out of touch.
and it's crazy, and like what Josh said, I'm the same. I don't like, and I don't think a lot of people. I think anyone who likes wrestling, just like as a whole, doesn't like the whole tribalism thing because I just love
Nope.
wrestling. You go on about it all the time, Stu. Josh, you say it, I say it as well. I love wrestling. I consume myself in wrestling. I said I'll sit and watch full CMLL or AAA before WWE pay-per-views in Spanish to watch it, because I love it. I watch it for that, and it's like I hate the whole tribalism thing. And like whenever, and even just there at the weekend, I was doing like the predictions and all that. I was getting comments on TikTok. I'm sure you probably will as well, Stu. Like I was getting comments of folks saying, "Oh, AEW is going to clear, blah blah blah," and I was just sat there like I didn't reply to them, but I was just like, "Oh man, shut up! Like just like
Yeah,
enjoy it."
I don't care. That
I
yeah,
don't care,
exactly.
but
I don't care.
then last night happens, and you have to just sit there and you just need to go, "Oh Jesus Christ!" Like yeah, they did. They cleared them so far that I can't even defend it or try and not like get on board with it anymore because
But the thing
I'm
is,
just like, ah,
we don't want the tribalism,
no,
but WWE are now actually putting us in the position where we
yeah,
have to choose. They are actually
you have to.
making it.
And it's bottom in with the point and on top of it is that if you are willing to, I mean, that whole, it's such a cringy thing to say, but that whole statement of, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen, and that's what the WWE is like. If you are wanting to go head to head with AEW, if you're willing to be like, we don't care, I want this company to fail, okay? If you need to put on, you need to back it up, and they are
Yeah.
not doing that. As Josh said, like, I've seen so many people going back over to AEW because I know Stu, you're only like you said, you've only fairly recently came back, but I'm assuming you've gathered at least from just knowledge of watching and listening to stuff of obviously what it must have been like in 2019 when AEW started, particularly in 2019 because
Yes.
WWE was god awful.
To
Um,
be fair, that's one of the things that started piquing my interest again when AEW did start. Oh,
exactly,
hello.
that was the point, and it turned so many heads. And that's what I mean. Like I watch, I pay, and you know myself, and I don't go into too much, but I pay for WWE and I pay for AEW. I watch it every single time it comes on because I love it, and I'm happy to support both companies.
Yeah.
But man, the decisions that are being made right? WWE, and this is the best. You've got, as Josh said, the best wrestlers on the planet who could go on and put on 5-star matches after five. Not that it matters, but they could go on and do 5-star matches after 5-star matches back to back to back if they wanted. But they because that's what we've seen. Like I think a great example of that is the WrestleMania match compared to the SummerSlam match of John Cena and Cody Rhodes.
Oh, night
They
and day.
got. I think again, I don't like, and as Josh always said, let's say F Dave Meltzer. I agree. But if you look at that, I think what the John Cena Cody Rhodes match got like 0.25 stars or something at WrestleMania, whereas the SummerSlam one's getting a 5-star match. So it's like it's clearly not the guys in the ring. It's
No.
all the decisions backstage that's being made, and it's a load of bollocks.
Yeah, it is. It literally is. It's back to when a football club goes rotten. It's the board that rot starts from, and that's what we're seeing now with WWE, and it's such a shame, and it really makes me angry. I'm like, you realize we're here, right? You realize we will sit and we'll watch this stuff. Please make it pleasurable for us. That's all you have to do. Just make it fun to watch. That's all we want from you. We don't
And if you're
ask an awful lot.
exactly, and if you're charging, and like that's the fact, like I mean, like you take something like yourself, like Josh, like last night, you're happy to pay the money to go to AEW, and you're getting given a 13 match card of all amazing matches. And I find that with AEW, and I don't mind talking about the price of it. I paid £15 on Amazon Prime to watch AEW last night, and
It's only
I
15 quid this time.
only 30. Yeah, it's going down each time as well, just to add an extra. I pointed it to my
Oh,
partner. I was like, I swear every single time the pay-per-views are getting cheaper.
so
um,
I'll wait for a while. It'll be like a fiver, and I can actually buy
yeah,
it.
maybe you might get you might get lucky, but it's like I 15 quid for last night was more than worth it for 13
Mm.
matches. Whereas I don't even want to know how many thousands of pounds, and not just for the people in the arena. We keep banging on about this new ESPN era of all the people in America that they had to pay to ESPN to get that show last night to
Yeah,
get a 5-match card of just utter sheer. Oh, we said apart from Stephanie and Io, they are like the golden like egg over there that we're going to protect. That's fine. But for what was presented and given to you last night, you would now have to spend all that money. Especially now if they're like, oh, you have to tune into Monday Night Raw or SmackDown to see the outcomes of all shit. Like you have to spend so much freaking money to get that. It's so disingenuous. It's so shit, and it is. It's one of those like I don't want to now be like, oh, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch no matter what. But I would much rather at the minute pay my money to see AEW than I would WWE, and that's just and it's got nothing to do with the star power. I would love to see John Cena. I would love never going to happen now. I would love to go and see Cody Rhodes. I've never actually seen Cody Rhodes live. I'd love to see it. But at the minute, if you were to put and dangle an AEW, especially with this whole counter program, if they were to do it in the same area, if you were to dangle an AEW show or a WWE show in front of me, I'm going to go AEW.
yeah.
During the like after like Clash in Paris happened, I was in a live post show with a fellow wrestling analyst, and I may have brought this up already. But we were talking about how like obviously I cover this all the shows every single day, every single week. I was talking to him about, and he agreed about how hard it's becoming to cover these shows every single week because a lot of the times it's just not good. And I may have complained about the 3 hours of Dynamite this week, but deep down I didn't mind it because it was good wrestling. That's not the case for Raw and SmackDown, and a lot of the times with NXT as well. It gets harder and harder every week to support this company who only cares about money, only in like cares about the politics they involve themselves in. Like Rue said, they don't give a damn about any of these wrestlers. They sure as hell don't care about their women's wrestlers. Um, and it's sad. It really, really sucks at what it's becoming. And I think honestly, it's just going to get worse from here.
I think so. Like it was that brief period of us coming away from Vince and getting Triple H before the TKO merger properly happened, and we were like, Because this is the thing, I don't think, and it's clearly proven. Like you look at NXT Black and Gold, and you look at the first few years of Triple H. Triple H is actually a good booker. God forbid I say that on live. By the way, you can quote that.
I
He's
agree. I
actually
absolutely agree.
he's actually a really good. But it's clear. I mean, you've seen that when WWE Unreal, and I do think he himself is losing a bit of. It sounds so cringy, but a bit of the game in him. He's losing it because he can't do much. He can't say anything. He can't. He said if The Rock wants to come, The Rock's his boss. If The Rock wants
Yeah.
to come in and do something, he's going to do it. He can't say anything against it. But I do also think, like, Matt Gizzle not. I mean, obviously, we don't know what was going on. I know I keep making the joke of what's going on in the writer room. That's the whole point. We don't know. So maybe he is pushing back against this. He can't do anything. It's just, because, like you said, Stu, in AEW sense, I don't always agree with what Tony Khan does. I stand, but I think Tony Khan's a bit of an impotent child, and I'm not the biggest fan of him. And he throws his toys out the pram as soon as he doesn't get his own way. I'm not the biggest Tony Khan fan, to be truly honest. But he clearly gets the product most of the time, and he allows the wrestlers to, because they're the ones that know better than anyone. He allows his wrestlers to go out there and just put on the show that they need to put on to get the storyline put forward, and it comes across so much better on TV. It's just a more generous product to watch, and as you said, like you go back to the prices of stuff. I mean, I don't know, but I think I remember, like, I didn't manage to get to Dynamite here up in Scotland. I think ticket prices probably ranged about the maybe, like, I think it was about the 60 to like 80 range. And
Wow,
that's what
really?
Dynamite, that's the equivalent, I said, of a Raw and SmackDown. Whereas over here, I think a Raw and SmackDown for a nosebleed seat, that'll easily cost you in the upwards of a couple hundred. Easy.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah, 100%. I went to just a live like house show basically, and it was about £160 per ticket.
Yep, exactly. And which is crazy because I said the last like filmed show that I went to for WWE was SmackDown in 2016, and I had quite close seats. I was on like not quite the floor, but the way the Hydro works in Glasgow, they've got the floor, and then there's these kind of raised seats that are still on the floor.
Yeah.
So a good view, and actually a very good view of the ring because not only am I on the floor, I'm raised a bit so I can see above everyone on the floor. I think they cost I think they cost us about £60 maybe back then, 2016, for those seats. I don't even want to know what that would be nowadays.
You got to think Tony Khan as well. The people he surrounds himself with are a lot different.
Oh,
He's got
absolutely.
people keeping him in check, wrestlers keeping him in check, where that is just not the case on the other side of the aisle at the moment.
Yeah,
I'm so sad.
it's hard, and as I think Josh usually said it perfectly, it just gets harder and harder because, like, I know, like, if you watch my TikTok, that's why I try to do more. I try to do TNA, I try to do AAA, I try to do also AEW and all that because I appreciate that I could probably come across as a quote unquote WWE glazer but it's because that's what I watch the most of, and that's what I want to watch. But man, it's getting hard.
Yeah, I like going back to the interview I did with the Destiny Wrestling promoter and owner, Emilio, and I know indie wrestling and like actual like WWE like TV wrestling is a lot different, but it has similarities because he was telling me I just book the matches. I just tell the wrestlers who they're going up against. It's up to the wrestlers to go out there and perform, which is what AEW is.
Yep.
That is not what WWE is. WWE tells them specific things that they want them to do. And a lot of the times for the wrestlers, it's out of their comfort zone and not in a good way. And we don't get a good product. They are very, like, I'm trying to look for I want to say strict with the way that they book these
Yep.
matches and the way they book these segments, and it's ridiculous. Like, let these guys go out and just wrestle. Let them do what they do best. Like LA Knight and like guys like Drew McIntyre are fantastic wrestlers. But guys who haven't seen their work before that and only saw them in WWE wouldn't know that
Yep.
because of how they book these guys.
Look at JC Mateo.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Oh man. Oh.
like Jeff Cobb is so goddamn good. But that, like, you've got that look here, even just from NXT up to now. Like, I think I've mentioned in a video, like, you look at NXT Homecoming from the past Tuesday, just gone there. I was so sad seeing Finn Balor come out because I loved it,
Oh my God.
and I forgot how it's Finn Balor. Like he's one of the best in the world, leader of the Bullet Club. But I forget. I just think, oh, it's Finn Balor from the Judgment Day. He's going to get pinned. Like it was so sad to
I
see.
literally I called my wife in because
To
obviously
see
she's really new, so she only knows Judgment Day Finn Balor. So
yeah,
we watched the NXT. I watched the NXT entrance, and then I got her into the room and said, "Just look at this 3 minutes of Finn Balor,
yeah,
and you will now know why I like Finn Balor." And she was like, "Oh my God, he's like a different person."
yep,
She's very meh on him, but she
yeah.
watched that for 3 minutes. She goes, "Oh my God, he's
What
ace." I was
which is
like,
so like it's
"Exactly,
so you're saying that like, he's so mental with the fact that like if someone looks at Finn Balor and goes meh because they don't
yeah,
know any
literally."
different because of WWE. But that's what they've done to him. And I think like Josh, you brought up such a good point there, and the fact that you're saying about how like the wrestlers like they're fighting and they're so strict WWE. Like the perfect. I don't know, Stu, if you ever got round to. Did you ever get round to watching WWE Unreal?
Yeah, yeah, I watched it.
But yeah, look at that bit with Chelsea Green for when she wanted to win the title. She had to fight just to use her freaking finishing move.
Ah, yeah, I know. I know. We're trying to get her to convince her to do something else. Like, but
Exactly.
no,
Like that's what joy. It's so like we want it done this way, and I know it's always been. I'm not a novice here. I know it was like that, and it's always been like that with WWE. It was always if Vince says it, then we do it. Okay, cool. I thought we'd got away with that, but
it didn't
apparently
feel
not.
like it under the Triple H era, which
No.
we are now not in. It felt like everybody had a lot more freedom.
Yeah.
That era up until so even the first 4 months, I'd say after Netflix, it was brilliant. We were in a really strong
Yeah.
WWE position. The last, say, 6 months, it's just fallen away. It's just
Yeah.
the decline in quality is unreal.
Like 2023, 2024 WWE. I always thought, especially because AEW won or something right there, is 2023, 2024 WWE is unmatched. It feels like going back to the Attitude Era of levels.
Yeah,
But what has happened in the last, it's mental to think that this is only a year we're talking about as well, pretty much since
yeah.
the turn of 2025. The decisions that have been made, just what's being shown in front of us is just it's one thing after another with WWE, and it's just getting so. I'm gonna, and I know you can say I'm gonna massive hypocrite. I know I'm gonna watch. That's my point. I'm addicted to it. I love it, but man, it's like you says too. I'm sure you absolutely love your cats. They sound great, but sometimes you've got that odd moment. You're like, oh. So
God, I wish I didn't have cats.
exactly, and that's what I'm getting right now with WWE. It's getting harder and harder to because we joke around with it on like all TikTok pages. Like I started off with being so positive, and I still will on my page when I want. 'Cause I want to be. I don't want to just it to be all negative and filled with like, oh, this is awful. But I want to be positive, but damn, they make it hard.
They really do. I had the same ethos when I started my TikTok page. Positivity, man. I'm going to talk about all the great things. It's
Yep.
just less and less great things to talk about.
Yep.
WWE is like that X that you're still hung up on. Like you have a lot of history with them and you have a lot of good memories with them, but they're a piece of shit and the decisions that they made are the reason why you don't like them, but you still keep going back, you still keep talking to them. That's exactly what WWE is right now.
Yeah. I came
God.
from the heart, Josh.
That was deep rooted, man.
But you're so true though. You're so right.
But yeah, that is our post-show review of
Damn.
All
God
Out
damn.
and WrestlePalooza. And our little spiel, I say little, our long spiel of um why we hate everything with TKO and the WWE right now. But like always, we love hearing you guys' opinions as well because you guys are just as big of a part of the podcast as we are. So please let us know your thoughts and opinions, whether you agree or disagree. We always love hearing them. There's a multiple of different ways you can let me know in the comment section of YouTube or Spotify, wherever you're listening to it. You can let me know on the Kayfabe Central Ko-Fi page. It's $5 minimum to subscribe to the exclusive wrestling content tier. You can check out the Kayfabe Central website, the Kayfabe Central Discord server. Go ahead and check all those out. They're all in the description below. Also in the description is Stu World Orders TikTok along with Rue on Wrestling's TikTok. Go check their content out. They make some amazing content that is definitely worth checking out. So go ahead and do that. But with that being said, I am going to call it a wrap on this post-show review. If you stayed through till the end, you're an absolute real one. So thank you so much.
God bless you.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and I will see you guys on the next one, which will probably be my Monday Night Raw post-show review tomorrow night. So stay tuned for that. Also, make sure you join in on the TikTok live watch along for Monday Night Raw because I do live watch alongs for all these shows except for TNA. So go ahead and join up the TikTok lives and follow me over on TikTok. But with that being said, I've been your host, Josh. This is Rule on Wrestling, Stu World Order, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.